from the Philippines. Is it Richard? Okay, Richard Ortega. Good. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm standing because I have some slides, right?
I'll leave it to you. I'll just grab my stuff.
Clickers here. So.
It is not, but I'll go grab it for you.
Okay, great.
Hang on, you can start.
Okay, great.
And then they'll move it for you until I get you the clicker.
All right. Well, greetings to council members, partners, some friends. I'm actually Rich Ortega, not from the Philippines, though. I'm from actually Northern California, originally from Southern California. So I do work for PLDT Global Corporation. I'm responsible for South and North America for enterprise and mobility, also responsible for UK and Europe. So I'm going to tell you about a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate in about 5 minutes and what we're looking for and why we're presenting today. So first, a little bit about the Philippines. You may not know, 101 million people spread over 7,100 islands. It's a huge geography, and about 96% of those islands are inhabited. So one thing is mobility is very important for us. Average age of the Filipino population is 24. Very exciting. Last quarter, the Philippine economy grew 7% in GDP. And about 2 years ago, it got ranked in the top 10 fastest growing economies in the world. Also, if you look at the middle class, it's grown tremendously. That might be good or bad, but it's been a tremendous boost to the Filipino economy, and also very rewarding because as they've increased their ability to earn and higher earnings, they're much more focused on what they do well. Currently, there's 119 million mobile connections. It's quite large. Active internet users, almost 50 million. Active social media users, 48 million. In fact, I don't know if anybody's from Facebook here, we rank in the top 3 most, the highest amount of internet traffic of Facebook in the Philippines. Who we are. We're a conglomerate. We're focused obviously, in telecommunications. We're the predominant local phone company. In the Philippines, we're focused on the international market, which some may know, some may not, but we're active in many countries around the world for mobility and enterprise services. We're into water, mining, power distribution, TV, and a few other industries. And some may ask why. One is that we want to make sure that we look at diversification, just simple diversification for reasons, financial reasons. The other thing is that we realize that there's a great advantage of having multiple industries and companies that we can use sort of like a test bed to work on communication services solutions. So it's a great test bed for that and exciting for those who want to partner with us and our existing partners. We have 3 major technology objectives for PLDT Group. One is that we want to truly have the best customer experience, and we believe from the technological perspective that we need to have the right services, products, but also the right partners to help us do that. There's tremendous opportunity in the Philippines, which I'll get to. Technology leadership, we definitely have bolstered our ability to work more on a strategic level in technology. Being the local phone company, we deal with all technologies, but as we venture out beyond the local domestic environment, there's some challenges that we do have. One of the bigger objectives we have, which is being worked on as we speak, is getting ready for 5G by 2020. Some of the things, I'm not going to go through all of them, we're very much focused on cloud services domestically, also internationally. We're focused on data center connectivity. We just built our 9th data center in the Philippines. 2 years ago, we had 1. Some came through acquisition. We have 3 purposely built data centers as of today, so 9 in total. One of the things that we're trying to do is also be relevant to the marketplace, so we're looking at those services where we can also use our partners and future investment in the Philippines to bolster the services on our multi-cloud service platform. So We are even looking to release an RFP for services that will help us increase our abilities locally and then in the international market. We have focused in the last year tremendously on big data analytics. We are working with several companies in that arena. We're also trying to figure out what it means to us and the pathway to create a better service environment in that arena. And one of the things that has been a major focus in the last 6 to 8 months is what we do in the cybersecurity world. So again, looking for those companies who want to partner with us to help us increase our ability to serve our international market and also the domestic market, but a huge opportunity is in the mobility market. We're pretty predominant in the mobile arena, and we're looking for those companies that can help us either create, partner with us, advise us, consult us on how we increase our ARPU. The ARPU is declining in the Philippines. It's a very important part of our business. That was faster than I thought, but there's a lot there, and I think we're going to have a little bit of a Q&A. But we're focused on all those technologies that are relevant to our international community, our domestic customer base and prospective customer base. So we know that there's a couple of things that the Philippines uniquely centered on. One of those things is that it's looking for more investment. It's low compared to what we thought it would be by this year. The second thing is we're looking for those companies that can help us get to the next level to make sure we get caught up in some arenas, but also optimize, enhance, and develop those technology services that are relevant to the market domestically and internationally. Here's our contact information. Love to meet with any one of you. Christine Heiss is the one that's local, that's the head of global partnerships. My role as Managing Director for Enterprise and Mobility, you can get in touch with me. I am local. I'm in the Bay Area at least 1 to 2 weeks a month, and definitely would like to meet with you. Anyway,
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rusty. Let's grab a seat and we can chat. All right. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Okay, so Smart is a bit of a different carrier than everyone else.
Sure.
I think in previous years you've spoken here at TC3, other speakers, and talked a lot about how it's a messaging heavy carrier. But tell me about that, or tell me about other things that are different than some of the other carriers we might be more familiar with.
Well, to hit on the messaging, up till about 4 years ago, the texting capital of the world was the Philippines. Now, per capita, we still are.
Yep.
China exceeded our text messaging by sheer volume. There's a lot more people, obviously, in China than the Philippines.
Yep. So is that, and you're also talking about driving up ARPU, but you have a different billing structure and cost structure. Like, are the consumers there paying on a per message basis, or are they buying bundles of texts?
Yes, and we do all of the above. If you talked to us a year and a half ago, we weren't so big on prepaid. And now we're having to do that because of competitive pressure, but also trying to make it easier for the client to use our services and to drive the cost down. One of our challenges, as I was saying earlier, is that our ARPUs are dropping so fast, just like the American carriers here. And what we want to do is figure out how we can enhance that ARPU to make sure that we add services that are relevant. Obviously, voice is declining. We need to come up with more data services and solutions.
Yep. And are you guys a consolidated fixed and mobile carrier?
We are.
So you're looking at all types of solutions as you're doing your innovation outreach.
True, and a lot of crossover points in that arena too. So,
So if crossover is the fixed mobile convergence type of notions, or you try to merge home services with mobile services?
that's happening, but I mean, there's convergence obviously in the mobile arena, and we find from a data perspective is that anything we do on the enterprise, we'll say even enterprise, there's cross points, but what we do on the data side, in general, for the domestic footprint, it gets translated quickly because we look at our smart app initiative, and one of the things I couldn't get into is our whole agenda in disruptive revenue generation. PLDT created a whole new group called Disruptive Business Group, totally focused on those technologies that disrupt, not optimize. Mm-hmm. So one of the big initiatives is anything smart, like smart cities, yep, smart agriculture, smart health. And so that's a huge opportunity for for us and those partners that want to help us take advantage of those disruptive revenue buckets.
Let's talk about you for a minute, Richard, and say, so you're based in the U.S. You're from
I am.
Sunnyvale, you said? Or where did you say you were from originally?
I'm originally from Orange County, Newport Beach.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah.
So, and you're based here, and you're
Right.
head of enterprise business development in the USA. So is there what kind of enterprise business is developing in the USA, or is it just looking for innovation to take back? What kind of things do you do?
Both. I mean, predominantly, I have three different hats. You know, one of them is the head. I'm managing director president for PLDT US, which has mobility and enterprise for North America, South America. And I'm also focused on enterprise business for UK and Europe.
Yep.
So we are, the services that we're looking for, and we need help in that arena too. My selfish desire, because I'm part of the global group, is that I look for things that help us proliferate services beyond the Philippines
Right.
to deal with infrastructure solution services and still being relevant, of course, with the trends in data center solutions and in cloud services. We're looking to all of those things. But within the US, 80%, not tell you the exact number, but 80% or so of our revenue is for contact center BPO companies. We do hundreds of millions of dollars out of the US and Canada alone.
Yep.
So
And so you're call centers, essentially. You're managing call centers for U.S. enterprises?
we deal with the infrastructure services and solutions
Yeah.
and tying that now, especially with data center co-location services and managed services with the data center footprint.
Yep.
We do those things for the contact center
Yep.
BPO industry, but we also have an arm that can do contact center services now.
Good, got it. And you mentioned the phenomenal growth in terms of the data centers you're operating.
Right.
So what's the motivation behind that? Is that a desire to get into that business, or is it just a timely acquisition that happened to fall that way? How is it strategic?
Well, three things. I think one of it was that we were late in the market. If you look at the balance of the globe that provides data center, but the market wasn't so focused on assets being placed in data centers, so there wasn't a great need. Like I said, 2 years ago, we had one data center.
Yep.
Now, 2 years later, 2 years ago, 2 years later, now we have 9.
Right.
So that's happening because of local business. The fact that the Philippines in the last 4 years has transitioned to be trusted for compute assets and relocating some hubs. Like, for example, we see some movement from Singapore to the Philippines for cost reasons,
Right.
and also from other parts of Asia. But we're seeing a proliferation of companies now that want to co-locate for many reasons. Like, for example, in the CDN world, every CDN player is wanting to do business with PLDT, and they're planting their assets in the Philippines.
How connected is the Philippines? And by that I mean undersea cables. Does it really wired into the rest of Asia and the North
Well,
America?
I mean, it is well connected. We own 4 of the 5 landing stations. Soon to be, there's the total is 6.
Yep.
There's soon to be a 5th one that we will own. And so it's well connected, and our own investment, PLDT Group, has invested about $2.5 billion US in the network.
Yep.
And the DFON, domestic fiber optic network, but also the tying with dark fiber between the CLSs, the cable landing stations. So in the last 4 years, we went from being okay threaded, having a lot of issues with connectivity, especially with disaster,
Yep.
to being very well connected and crossed in many concentric loops.
So you're able to put all that together. Like, this data center business is also relying on these additional
Definitely.
competencies you guys are bringing to the table.
Well, disaster recovery is critical for, say, Philippines, but a lot of Asian communities and countries.
Yep.
So we focused on how we can connect our cable landing stations, so there's very little downtime, if any at all.
Redundancy and
Yes.
That's right. Great. Now, you also talked about 5G innovation.
Right.
So what does that mean in the context of the Philippines? Smart.
Well, we want to be innovative. We want to basically be where we think the industry is going. And since we do so much in the mobility arena, especially with communication within the domestic footprint, but so many things are going to, in our roadmap, are related to smart app environment. We want to make sure that we're definitely not so much on the cutting edge, but we do believe that 5G is a solution to solve a lot of issues that we won't get into now. But we definitely feel like we're behind in where we are now, even though 5G is not consummated yet completely. But we believe that by 2020 we'll be ready and we'll be one of the leaders in Asia in that arena.
Good. So talking about Smart App, I mean, I guess I need some clarification. Is that just a branded app because you're smart, or is it an app with smarts?
I'm just saying apps that are related to the smartphones.
Yep.
It's interesting, if you go back 2.5, 3 years, smartphones really weren't that relevant within the Philippine market. Texting was critical, so you could do that on the average phone.
Right.
But as more and more business has developed in the Philippines, and the Philippine economy has been improving so much in the last 3 years, we see more and more reasons for the Filipino community to use applications that they wouldn't even use 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
So
So your customers are currently shifting from feature phones into smartphones. You have an idea, like, do you ever perceive it's going to be 100% smartphones and feature phones will be phased out, or will they linger for a long time?
it'll linger because of the population.
Yep.
You see use in the mobile arena from kids that are 5, 6 years old to people that are 90.
Wow.
So, and we found, even though there is a proliferation of smartphone use or smartphones, we're still not predominantly there. We probably have a couple of years to go. The good thing, for a lot of mobility partners, companies, ones that are focused on the Philippines along with us, the average age, I think I showed, was 24 years of age in the Philippines. That's pretty young, right? And so you look at the age group, you look 35, 38 and younger, it's predominantly smartphone.
Okay. And you guys have, relative to the U.S., low ARPUs, right? Low revenues each month per user. So do you see different opportunities and ways of taking advantage of your specific market? An American company probably have a hard time making a profit with those kind of ARPUs. So what opportunities do you guys make in that environment?
Well, we make money obviously in that market.
Yeah.
The thing that's daunting is that the ARPUs are dropping pretty fast because of free voice.
Yep.
Some of the OTT activity has hurt us, and now we're partnering with those companies to figure out different revenue buckets.
Yeah.
We are focused on those things that manage and contain data.
Right.
So we're much more focused on that. We're also focused on content delivery, content hosting. We feel that the movement to improve upon the end user experience of the average mobile user is critical. So we are looking for help in that arena to help us improve how we can make more revenue per user.
Yeah.
So we're focused now on many things. For example, Wanna Chat is like Viber or WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It grew in the last year from very small community to over 285,000 clients just like that.
Right. And you guys are partnering with them and you're helping grow that one as a...
Wanna Chat is our product.
Okay.
One of our partners is Candy.
Yep.
So we're doing quite well in that arena, and we feel that's a pretty predominant application for us. Obviously with the use of applications, we're trying to drive the revenue side of it.
So you built a competing OTT WhatsApp
Right.
Viber solution, and it's done pretty well
Right.
in the market. That's good. And I guess that's one thing about distinct markets have distinct social circles, and
Sure.
you might be able to promote and distribute way
Right.
much better than a WhatsApp that has to go out and kind of win in.
Well, there's very few countries that are more social than the Philippines, so it's again a great opportunity for those companies who want to invest in that ecosystem. So
Tell me about the revenue upside of data packages, because if it's historically been such a text-heavy market, not so much phone calls, lots of text, people buying packages and bundles of text. Are you not seeing ARPU growth in selling data bundles, especially if they're using Viber or WhatsApp or your application?
well, some of that use affects our ARPU because of our costing model when it comes to voice. So we're losing a little bit of that. But for example, one thing that's interesting, which may sound funny to some of my colleagues, is that when you look at content, like you look at the content in America, look at Netflix,
Yep.
as far as the movies. Well, that's not readily available and housed in a platform in the Philippines, even though there are channels. A lot of people are focused on TV. So as you bring that to the mobile device, there's a great opportunity for more services. So we're going through that right now. We launched something called Smart Life Global, and it's it's being proliferated in the West Coast first, and then we'll proliferate that around the world for offshore Filipinos, which there are about 16.5 million of.
Yep.
Right? There's 4 million here.
Wow. In California or in U.S.?
Throughout the U.S., predominantly West Coast.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's interesting. So it allows you growth beyond the Philippine border stuff. One of the things you mentioned at the beginning you're looking for. So let me ask a final question, and it's, hopefully, I don't know if you have the answer to this or not, but what kind of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, I guess they could be anywhere, but that type of partner, what type of a partner would you be looking for and would be appropriate to pitch you? What kind of solutions would they be bringing that would really energize Smart or PLDT?
the three, one is definitely, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking for companies that can help us with services that we can straddle across our cloud services, multi-cloud service platform today.
Yep.
There's going to be an RFP coming out, so if you have any services that affect basic business, back-end operations, it could be within any industry segment. Also, companies that are focused in on cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. We're also looking for companies that can help us within the environment of offering services that can help within the technology industry. So there's, not to get too specific, and not to say that we're looking at anything and everything, but yep. When you look at the proliferation of cloud services in the Philippine market, it's kind of an open book right now. Mm-hmm. So the market's ready. It wasn't ready 2 years ago. Right. So we don't want to discriminate. So if you have a service or a platform that is cloud-based, yeah, and if you have anything that's a managed service type offering, we would look to those things immediately. Then I didn't mention the Internet of Things that was listed on the slide, but we're definitely focused on in that ecosystem too.
What's interesting and cool for entrepreneurs looking at this,
right?
Is if you're a little bit later than the U.S. to the cloud game,
right?
Some of the later entrants in cloud solutions, right, who might have lost a bit of the market here, but had a second generation, right, a better solution, can maybe go straight down to you and say the timing is right.
It's a great point, and it's we're behind. If you look at say the North America, U.S. specifically, we're behind. So there should be great opportunity for a Silicon Valley company that's innovative in that marketplace for us.
Good. Sounds great. Well, thank you very much,
okay.
Richard. All right. Cheers.
Okay.
Oh.